In today's video, I'm going to be finishing up my Biomes O Plenty testing and showcases by having a look at how structure add-ons interact with the brand new add-on. I'll be looking at 3 in particular, starting with the more simple structures add-on by Waypoint Studios, then the Structures and Stuff add-on by Pixel Beaster, and finally Structure Generation by Pixelusion. Now, I know some people often say that I talk too much, but trust me, this is important. You might already know this information, but others might not. So just give me a couple minutes here, but feel free to jump ahead if you want. Chapters should be marked. Now, Biomes O Plenty uses new technology to generate in its biomes. This technology is called Biomes Replacement. It allows Biomes O Plenty to generate biomes with as little effect on performance as possible, while also mirroring vanilla biome generation. Now, while that's great for this add-on on its own, what that means for structure add-ons, dynamic worlds, and even potentially mob spawning add-ons is that it could be heavily affecting their performance. You see, if the add-on or the dynamic world isn't optimized for Biomes O Plenty, then there could be some issues. So let me take you over to the super expensive flowchart here. Now in vanilla, what happens is you walk around your world and the world chooses biomes to generate around you. So let's say that the world chooses a taiga biome. The world will then just flat out generate a taiga biome. Now, if you're using a structure add-on or a dynamic world or a mob add-on, the pack will recognize the taiga biome and it will spawn a structure or a mob that it's already linked to that biome, which means it works absolutely fine. But with Biomes O Plenty, that now becomes a little bit more complicated. You see, when you're walking around the world chooses biomes. Let's say it chooses a taiga biome again. Now, if Biomes O Plenty decides to keep the taiga biome, the normal flow will continue. But if it chooses to replace the biome, what then happens is that the Biomes O Plenty add-on will spawn one of its new biomes that is linked to the taiga biome. For this example, let's say it spawns in the coniferous forest. Now, what happens when the coniferous forest has been generated? Well, the pack that you're using for structures or mobs won't recognize that biome. And so it can't look for a structure or a mob linked to that biome to spawn in, which means that the pack spawns nothing in, which then gives it the impression that it's not working. But the truth will be that the add-on is working. It just needs a vanilla biome to spawn in the structure or the mob in question. Now, obviously, that's probably an oversimplified way of explaining it, but to my understanding, that's how it works. And until add-ons or dynamic worlds are updated to be working with Biomes O Plenty and how they label and name their biomes, we will see the spawning of structures or mobs in these secondary add-ons be reduced. I hope that all made sense. Now, similar to the test that I did when I was looking at texture packs, I think we can safely assume that any structure add-on that introduces new blocks is going to keep the textures they were designed with. They won't change to include any Biomes O Plenty textures or wood types, for example. We can also assume that similar to my Better on Bedrock and Realism Craft testing, any custom structures that need a specific biome to generate won't spawn in custom Biomes O Plenty biomes either. So, how does it feel to combine a structure add-on with Biomes O Plenty? Now, for this video, every structure add-on that I use is going to go into slot 1, and Biomes O Plenty is going to go into slot 2. And we're going to be starting with the more simple structures add-on. So if we go into the book really quickly, we're just going to jump through here, hit continue, and we're going to look at the structures. Now, for some of these structures, they're quite standard in terms of how they're spawning, and they do show that they need specific biomes, like the abandoned castle here needs a forest, plains, taiga, and swamp. Now, like my example showed you earlier where I tried to explain it all, The Biomes O Plenty add-on will overwrite those names, so these structures might not be so easy to find. There are also structures here that spawn in the Nether and the End, but as Biomes O Plenty doesn't do anything to those dimensions, they shouldn't have any problems. There are also structures that spawn quote-unquote underground, which will be interesting to check, and there will also be structures that spawn in the ocean, which shouldn't really have much of an effect from Biomes O Plenty, as there's no real ocean changing in this add-on. But we're here to test it. So we've spawned in. It all looks relatively Biomes O Plenty. Doesn't seem to have too much in terms of vanilla biomes. Look at that. We've got that over there. We've got that over there. So I think if we start heading inland, first of all, we're just going to see what it looks like in terms of these structures generating. And I've seen people in comments say that they think having Biomes O Plenty might actually be really good at limiting structure generation. Now, a big complaint that we have as we're heading towards a structure here already, a big complaint that we normally have is that structures spawn way too close to each other with structures add-ons, and sometimes they're duplicated. By reducing down the space for them to spawn, are we policing that and potentially making it a lot easier? So we can see this is potentially a vanilla beach or a vanilla desert part or a vanilla whatever, and we've had a more simple structure spawn. It's got the villages in here, and I mean, other than that over there, it's quite sporadic. There isn't much else at the moment, but let's reserve judgment on that last bit. If we head over here, we've also got this structure. Now, I'm not going to be able to name all of them. This is probably like a pillager camp or a pillager outpost here. But this is also generated on the edge, I think, of both a vanilla biome and a Biomes O Plenty biome. And what we will have happen is, let's say this corner has generated, it generates at this corner to begin with, for instance. This would generate in a vanilla biome, and it would essentially bleed or fade into a custom biome, and it will give the impression that it is spawning in a custom biome if you get lucky with that kind of generation. But it's very much generated from the vanilla biome, not the custom, but it doesn't get cut off, it seems, which is very good. That is very good. So we've had two quite close to each other, two very different ones quite close to each other. What else do we get as we fly around? This is a very small sample size. I want to kind of stick onto the edge of the water as well. I'd like to see a ocean spawn in, oh, an ocean structure spawn in, sorry. Just see what kind of stuff we're dealing with while also looking at the world. So this is all very BOP, very Biomes O Plenty right here. So I wouldn't even expect anything to spawn in. There's the boat over there at the ocean. So that's good to see. Oh, we've had, I think that's, what is that? I always forget the names of these biomes, but that gives us the biome coloring. I'm going to say right now, all right, we've had two pirate ships come next to each other, and the ocean is obviously not very policed, but having the custom biomes giving us that custom life generation, then having the custom structures spawning less frequently, it feels nice. It feels, for a lack of a better term, it feels balanced. This doesn't, because the ocean is just spawning as much as it wants, and maybe by limiting the number of structures over here, we're allowing them to spawn more in the ocean like you would do with mobs. But sticking just on land, like look, we've got another little house there, so they do spawn enough for you to see them. It just doesn't feel massively busy, and if it does, it feels more alive, more natural. I'm liking this right now. This is quite nice. Obviously, we're very much on the edge, so we're getting a lot more of these kind of sandy beach biomes. Maybe we go a bit more inland. See what else we're going to have happening in here. So we're here with a pasture. I like pastures. I know pastures. They're cool. But what happens if we just continue? I mean, we've got a lot of wetland, potentially. A lot more like river-based biomes around here. But yeah, you see, look, as we come into more landy areas with less vanilla biomes, with less vanilla influence, they become a lot harder to find. I mean, Cherry Grove is here. This would have been a nice one to throw in. but doesn't seem to have generated a structure in here. And every world is going to be different, especially with the procedurally generated structures. Every world is going to feel different. We could probably load up the same seed and have different results. So there's obviously that Minecraftism around, but it does get rarer more inland. I think we started in a very nicer area to make it have a nice feel. Things like the broken nether portals, by the way, I might be wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't believe they're biome specific, so they'll spawn anywhere. But let's keep looking around. It's like trying to find a needle in a haystack here. I don't want to stop moving as well. I want to give you guys like 5 minutes of just vanilla experience, going through, not specifically finding exact structures. Like we've had a structure here, look. Is this a structure? I think this is a structure. It's like a ruins, isn't it? Let's see if we can work it out in here. Continue. Structures. I mean, there are mobs in here too, apparently. Cobblestone wall, well. I'm never any good at knowing the names of these stuff. Pirate ship, sphinx, spider, standing rubble. Could that be standing rubble? Trial tower, watch den. Let's see, standing rubble. Remains of an old stone structure, now just overgrown rubble. Yeah, that looks about right. Just overgrown rubble. So that is a structure spawning in there. Just on the edge of that there too. So not one of your nicer structures, not one of your better structures, but I mean, look, we've even got a pillager outpost. You're never too far away from a villager outpost, really, are you? Is that a jungle temple? What have I got? What's this? That's not a jungle temple. What's this? Oh, it's like a dungeon. Okay, it's an over-the-top dungeon. Fair dues. So another structure spawning in here too. Okay. So yeah, inland. I mean, look. Oh, we're getting more now. Oh, we must have. This must be a more very big vanilla biome here. But we've got like a little campsite in here. We've got a little ruiny area here too, which looks like it's trying to spawn a sand wither. Fair dues. And then back into the custom biome. So I think it's safe to say, listen, the structures, they're not massively rare. It's very much based on the biome that you're in, but in the right biomes you do still get quite a lot of structures spawning in. Is it a lot? I'm not sure, but you can always run through this area and immediately have none. Like, let's go deliberately through here and let's see if there is anything that does spawn in a custom biome. This is deliberately going through custom biomes O Plenty biomes here. Not seeing anything in particular. So I think this is a nice way to reduce down the amount of structures. Even if it's not perfect in either direction, it does reduce it down. Nothing spawning here in these custom biomes like we would have expected. Come around here. You know, it's not looking like it, is it? And then even more custom biomes. So yeah, if you get a good chunk or a good flow of custom biomes, you might go a while without seeing some structures. But then look down here, we've got one. So this must be a tiger biome as standard. Just spawning in like normal. And then immediately being covered by something else. But then we go into like a roofed forest here. And we get another standard biome, another standard structure. Another one there for a cemetery. So yeah, in vanilla biomes, oh, it does make up for the lack of structures in customs. Look, 1, 2, 3, very close to each other. So it does a good job to police it, but it doesn't make it perfect. Now, if we was to go into spectator mode, I wonder if this is going to work, because there are underground structures in more simple structures. I'd be interested to see what kind of structures we're dealing with and whether or not these generate below custom biomes. Just bear in mind, there are spiders' nests in Biomes O Plenty, so this will be your arachnophobia warning that we could potentially see some. But what kind of structures do we get underground, if any? I'm not seeing a massive amount at the moment. What's this down here? No, that's a Biomes O Plenty one. I'm not seeing anything. Let me know if you guys are down in the comments. I suppose the question becomes, how far down do you have to go to be outside of the influence of a custom biome? Not seeing anything at all. Let me just pause for a second. I'm going to have a look at the structure list and see what it is that we're specifically looking for. So having a look at the structure list then, actually I could only find 2 structures that were supposed to spawn underground. Additional monster spawners or monster dungeons, which could potentially be these with the no chests, but it does say that it would have loot. So this could potentially be one. Or there was like other cave camps, which gives off the impression of other settlers, which could be one as well. Wait, whoa, hang on. There's a chest here. Right, okay, so yeah, okay, so they are. So they do spawn then. This must be, I don't know if this is a cave camp or if this is, yeah, this must be a cave camp. Yeah, there's no spawner in here, so this must be a cave camp here. And then there's some spiders down there too. Not from any spawner or anything. So where is this spawned then? If we come back up at the top, this seems to have generated under a taiga, which would be a vanilla biome. Is that the case? Let's just come up here. Yeah, that looks like a standard taiga. So that's a standard taiga that spawned in. What's this over here? Oh, okay. Yeah, I did say arachnophobia warning, didn't I? So there we go. So there's another one again underneath a vanilla taiga. Let's just keep going then. Where was that massive... Oh, there's another one here. So they are spawning then, but just under vanilla-y biomes, not under custom at the moment. Do we have any example of one spawning under custom biomes? Where is that flow of just tons and tons of custom biome? Hang on. This is a custom biome. 1 second. Get down here. No, nothing spawned directly under that. No, that's over there. Okay, so if we head into like this direction, I've got the custom biomes here. Yeah, hang on. Oh, no, that's just on the outside. So testing is inconclusive, I think is fair to say. Because look, that's not even generated on the cave biome either. That seems to be in a vanilla feeling bit. Maybe it's bled into a custom one. I'm not sure. So there's a little bit of a gray area when it comes to the underground structures and the custom biomes. But in terms of overground, I think we're quite safe in saying that they're not spawning in custom biomes. They are reduced down, but in vanilla biomes, they do still feel like there's plenty of them. And the ocean biomes do not get affected, or the ocean structures, sorry, do not get affected. Let's go and check out another structure add-on. Now, the second add-on that we're checking in today's video is the Structures and Stuff add-on by Pixel Beaster. Now, this add-on adds over 300 structures to the world, along with a whole host of other things. And if we look in the book, unfortunately, there isn't a list, as far as I can tell, of what structures there are, so it's going to be a bit harder to find these, but it does tell us that they are 7 themed structures in this add-on. When I covered it, it was just called the Structures add-on, and I'm happy that they've changed the name. I did suggest they change the name, which apparently disappointed Pixel Beaster, but I'm glad that they've taken somebody else's advice and changed the name to Structures and Stuff. So in here, we're going to be in the exact same seed. It's a fresh copy of the same seed, and we've already seen over here at the ocean that there is a structure spawning, a nice little raft. So I think the same rules are going to apply here, to be honest. The ocean is going to be unpoliced, and that's usually told straight away by seeing a massive amount of structures immediately spawning in. But the land is going to be, I think, the same principle. If it needs a specific biome to spawn, then it's going to need that biome. It's not going to spawn in a custom biome. Like over here, I would be very shocked if we saw a structure spawning in the mahogany over here, which no, we don't. Nothing on the beach here. I'm going to check out over here, but then we're going to head in pretty much the same direction because we know that there are structures that will spawn around there. We'll see what kind of effect we have by looking at that. But I just want to test a few of these custom biomes and see what happens. Nothing spawning around here, just the pretty massive flowers. We've got another Nether portal over there from the base vanilla game, but yeah, it's very clean in terms of structure spawning here. So if we head off into this direction, try and get back to where we started, and then head around that same kind of loop. We'll see what the frequency of the structures are. Now, we're obviously talking about 300 plus structures here. I'm not looking at all of the other bloatware that's added in this add-on. It doesn't interest me at all, I'm afraid. But the actual structures themselves is what we're looking at. And with 300 plus structures, I'm expecting variation, I'm expecting variety, but I do also feel that maybe those tighter areas are still going to spawn in quite a lot of structures, because that's a lot to try and get in. Now, one big difference straight away, there is no hut here like there was in the last one. So obviously they're going to be, like I said, same seed, different add-ons, same add-ons, different results. Doesn't matter. This is just using the structures and stuff add-on. I'm not pairing the two structures. I'm not building on top of it. Fresh world, one add-on with Biomes O Plenty. They haven't taken advantage of it spawning there either. So are they actually even rarer then? Now, lots of things could be contributing to why it's not using the same biomes to spawn in. Maybe it's biome requirements. Maybe it's space requirements. It could literally be anything. But currently, all we've seen so far is the two ocean structures, the two boats. Haven't seen anything else. Is this a structure, or is this... No, this is just a little lava pond. When you're dealing with 300 structures, the smallest of things could be a structure. You never know. Having no list isn't the most helpful. But yeah, nothing at the moment. I mean, this is pretty much driving home that point that I mentioned, that Biomes O Plenty could police and make structures a lot rarer, make it a lot more viable. Now, it depends though. How rare do you want your structures to be? I'm opening that question up to the comments. How often do you want structures to be spawning? Is it like 1 every 1,000 blocks? Is it 1 every 500 blocks? Is it give me as many structures as possible? I need them all. Gimme, gimme, gimme. I don't know. But at the moment, on land, nothing. This is why if you're going to add these things to like Forever Worlds and stuff, you have to make sure you're doing your tests. You have to be very careful of what you add to Forever Worlds. And just to be clear as well, I'm not blaming the add-on, and I'm not blaming Biomes O Plenty either. I think it's awesome that Biomes O Plenty doesn't blow out their add-on by adding in structures. Just keep it simple, be the master of biomes. I just kind of wish Minecraft itself had a little bit more functionality, shall we say, in terms of mixing add-ons. And if structures and stuff wanted to generate in Biomes O Plenty, I believe that would need structures and stuff to update. It would need the structure add-on in general to update to include the biomes. It's not on Biomes O Plenty to update for this to happen. So definitely not blaming either add-on here. They're not designed to work with each other. It's just about testing and showing you guys what you guys could potentially expect. There's a structure over there. We found one. Here we go. Here we go. Spawning 2. There's another one over there as well. So this must be the more vanilla-y area that we're dealing with here. We've got this one here. Nice little structure in here. The chest. We've got some stuff in. We've got the custom stuff spawning in here too. Using the vanilla blocks. Using the nether blocks. And again, if there's nether structures in this add-on, they won't be affected by Biomes O Plenty because it doesn't do anything in the nether or the end currently. Yeah, another structure spawning in here. So yeah, they do spawn. You just got to go looking for them. That's it. That is it. You've got to go looking for them. There's that pillager outpost again. So on the same road. Although, I mean, that's new. That wasn't in the same place. But there was a structure here for the other add-on that we looked at. There was a structure here for that other add-on that we looked at. So using the same spaces, this is definitely a vanilla biome. But nothing in the customs. Yeah. I mean, I don't necessarily think we need to look at a third one, but we're going to anyway to see how it goes. But I think we can pretty much say these structures are limited to vanilla biomes. They might bleed into custom biomes, and the ocean is free reign. Let's go around here. See here, I'm not going to check underground. Without a list for structures, I can't check in to know if there is even any that go underground, so I'm not going to bother. Get through the ominous woods here. Little lighthouse, that's cool. So beaches seem to be a very good spot for biomes. For structures, sorry. Yeah, look, there's one over there. There's only so much Biomes O Plenty is going to stop these lighthouses spawning, I guess. Yeah, another one here too, like a little fishing hut or something. As we move into, this will be a good place to see. Surely there's some in the roofed forest. Surely. This is about as vanilla as it gets, no? A little patch of purple water over there as well. Minecraft spawning in biomes like crazy. Yeah, look, there we go. There's another one there as well. So yeah, it makes it rarer. Another one there too. Not as rare as we saw with more simple structures, but I think that has to do with the fact that there are 300 plus structures in this add-on. Let me know what you guys are thinking at the moment. Let's go into structure number 3. Alright, so the final add-on that we're going to be testing in today's video is the Structure Generation add-on by Pixelusion. Now, this structure add-on, it does also seem to use biomes to spawn them in. Look, we've got forest structures, jungle structures, snowy structures, swamp structures, desert structures, mesa structures, but it also has ocean structures, so we've already seen how that should potentially work in this combination. It does add cherry structures, plain structures, but it also adds sky structures, which is a new little caveat here. So we're going to be able to see if they'll spawn on the skies of these custom biomes as well. And then obviously never and end structures shouldn't be affected. So no boats in front of us, but there is a boat off to the right, which is cool. So we can see straight away oceans and rivers are affected right here. Like you would expect. Come over here, although this very much is broken, which is definitely not good. Now, why has that broken? That is not good at all. Now, depending, I don't know how big this is supposed to be. Is it bleeding into certain structures? Has something happened here? Let's go underground really quickly. Is there a cave that spawned? No custom cave biome down here. That's really weird then. So that's just like 1, maybe even 2 broken structures. Elephant in the room here as well. There is a sky structure at the top here. Not a great way to start there. Hadn't actually checked that. So there we go. Let's carry on. That's how you know I'm not fluffing my videos. You know what I'm saying? They are what they are. Now this is quite an interesting one, because it seems to have spawned on the edge of a vanilla biome. Looking at this now, could we argue that it has potentially bled into the red? No, it hasn't. It hasn't bled into the redwood forest. Looks like it's very specifically in a vanilla biome here, but there's a structure right there in the sky. And if we head into this direction here too, there's another one. There's like a giant mushroom over here. Again, very vanilla biome in spawn. There seems to be ticking those same requirements, those same expectations that we've had already. I'm going to go off into this direction, I think. We've already seen the other area. Let's see what happens this way. Again, it's the same seed, but it's a fresh save, only using the 1 structure add-on here. I'm quite interested to see if anything spawns in the sky. I don't think it will, but I am interested to see what would happen if one does in a custom biome. Does the sky count as a custom biome? With the colors, I think it does. Nothing spawning around here. We've got a village. Now this lets us know that this is a vanilla area, because of Minecraft vanilla villages only spawn in vanilla biomes as well. Got a structure over here. So yeah, it's all about how lucky you get with your biomes. How many vanilla biomes do you get? How often does the game replace a vanilla biome with a custom biome? No idea what happened to that first one that we spawned in. That's very much spawned in correctly, I believe. Lots of gold down there. We've also had the mobs spawning down there too. Let's head off into this direction. Let's see what we get. Doesn't seem to be a ton of stuff. There's the back end of a village. There's another structure there though. That's quite a good distance between structures. Not immediately showing. Another nether portal over there. These guys have spawned in mobs. Okay. Big old mountain over here too. It feels quite vanilla in how it's working at the moment. A lot of just your generic biomes spawning. There are still Biomes O Plenty biomes, but it doesn't feel too overpowered with custom. But we're going to get more now. Here we are. Obviously, you get that render distance coming in because I'm in creative and because I'm flying up high. It would just be so amazing if we just saw like a big sky structure up here above a pasture. That would be cool, but doesn't look like that's what's going to happen. What's this over here? Is this vanilla? Potentially. Yeah, that just seems to be touching the ocean. Okay. Well, I think we can definitely say they're rarer. They're definitely rarer. That forced rarity by Biomes O Plenty is definitely here. Let me know down in the comments if that is a good thing or a bad thing for you. Is this working how you expected? It's kind of working how I expected. It's a little bit underwhelming in all honesty. I hope it would be really cool, and it would probably corner the market a bit as well actually, if a structure add-on updated to be Biomes O Plenty compatible. Like if I ran a structure add-on, that's the first thing I'd be doing right now. I'd be like, right, get on that website that 4KS has set up, grab their labels, put them on my structures, let's go, let's get this done. The amount of people that you're going to get, because I've seen today Biomes O Plenty 4.9 stars out of 5 stars from nearly 500 reviews is mad. Like definitely no accusations of fake reviews there. This is not your 5-star from one review style add-on right here. This seems to have spawned again in a vanilla-esque place. So that would be me, man. I'd be throwing that out there everywhere. I'd be like, my structure add-on is now compatible with Biomes O Plenty. If you're enjoying Biomes O Plenty, chuck mine on there. That is exactly what. So we're going to have to be aware of that actually, because as they're spawning in a lot in vanilla, they would start spawning in a lot with Biomes O Plenty, so we need to be careful with that. But yeah, that's very much on the outskirts of a vanilla. I mean, look at that. That's probably found the perfect middle ground of one custom biome there, one custom biome there. Have they implemented? They have. Oh, wow, I hadn't even noticed. Okay, so the Biomes O Plenty update has added in the biome labeling. So, yeah, this is just a standard forest. Here we go. Standard forest. Head over here. Orchard, custom biome. Head over here. Forest. Head over here. Highland. This has found the perfect spot between two custom biomes to put in a custom generation. That's mad. Okay, that is really cool though. It really gives off the illusion that it's inside. Okay. Oh, so we can actually come up here then. That's my bad. I do apologize. I didn't realize it had updated to give us that. We come up here. Let's go onto here. Forest. Okay, so yeah, so it looks like sky structures are generating in vanilla biomes only, to be honest. Now, I had fully intended for this video just to be those previous free add-ons, but a new add-on was released into the Minecraft marketplace called Structure Expansion Add-on 1.0. It costs 310 mine tokens. It's a little bit more rough around the edges, and it did make me wonder, with it being so cheap and a bit more rough, does it have a few less restrictions and limitations? I mean, if we look straight away, well, we've got a boat, so there you go. But the guidebook is just a handwritten book. So I'm wondering if they've taken some shortcuts here that might make it a bit more viable for a Biomes O Plenty. Now, I'm not going to read the whole book here. You can check out my add-on reveal for that. If you're watching at the time of this video being posted, the add-on reveal might be coming a little bit later today on my main channel. But this add-on introduces 4 categories of add-ons, but it only says land structures. It doesn't specifically say biomes. It then has air structures, water structures, and cave structures, with no mention about biomes as we go through. So I figured we'd have a look. So we're here again, same seed that we've been dealing with, fresh world with just the structure expansion add-on in slot number 1. Now, like I say, this is rough around the edges here. Like you can see here, it's spawned in the boat, but the water has dipped down. So it's not perfectly clean, and we already know what to expect with ocean add-ons. Now, this add-on, or ocean structures in structure add-on, sorry, but this add-on is definitely rough. But that right there is what I want to look at. So look, tons of structures spawning straight away. You got a massive sky structure there, massive sky structure there, massive sky structure there, boat there, boat there. This feels immediately different to what we've already looked at. This doesn't seem to be restricted by biome. This just seems to paint the world with structures, and in doing so, it doesn't seem to care about the custom biomes. So we're going to go over here. We're going to open up the Biomes O Plenty guidebook. We're going to sit about in the middle of here. It spawns in the Mystic Grove. And we can check over here as well. Spawns in the Overgrown Greens. So this is bled between 2 custom biomes here. We'll check over here as well. Mystic Grove. I just want to make sure that there isn't a corner or an edge sitting in a vanilla spawning biome. Mystic Grove is on this side, and this will be Overgrown Greens here, right? Mystic Grove still actually no, so there you go. Now what we can see here is it is spawning in, is this moss? Yes, it spawns in with moss at the bottom, which is why the color hasn't changed. There is a bit of grass here for texture, but structures in this add-on, the structure expansion add-on, do spawn in Biomes O Plenty biomes. Now this is only one example, of course, but by removing that biome restriction, we immediately go back to what we always have as like a negative for structure add-ons, in that they spawn so crazily around the world. Now, one thing I kind of want to do is just travel out into a distance and see as the world is generating, does that still happen? I mean, look, sky structure there over the redwood forest. We've got this structure here, which seems to be in a more vanilla biome. And just double check this. Let's get into here. In a forest. So yeah, vanilla biomes, no problem. It doesn't seem to care about biomes at all. Look, there's this thing up here. Seems to be spawning above a shrubland here. So it is possible for structure add-ons to work with a custom biome add-on like Biomes O Plenty, but it needs to remove all mention, Rocky Shrubland, it needs to remove all mention or restriction of a biome specific spawn, and in doing so, yeah, your world is going to get even busier. So what have we learned in today's video? If a structure needs a biome to spawn, Biomes O Plenty will make it be a lot more restricted. If a structure just spawns willy-nilly all over the place, then it will spawn all over the place. Please do leave a like on the video if you enjoyed this. Drop a comment down below. Which do you prefer? The sporadic spawning of the first 3 or the overloading spawning of structure expansion? Look out for the structure expansion add-on reveal on my main channel. Should be going live 6 PM UK time on the 25th of January, depending on when you're watching this. And if you're new to the Dazman Reacts channel, please do hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much for helping the channel get to 1,000 subscribers. I think this is going to be the last Biomes O Plenty test or showcase video that we're going to do. We've put out a ton of content, so probably time that we move on a little bit now, give 4KS Studios a bit of a break. So thank you very much to 4KS Studios for supporting the channel by allowing us to do so much content coverage, and for checking out the comments of every video and being so informational and educational and just answering everybody. And thank you to you guys. I know you guys have helped in the development and the release of this add-on at the end there, and just thank you for the support in general as well. I really do appreciate it. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.